I'm going to try and relate it to
Please,
everybody, because I know
free.
you speak to the corporate world and you have people listening to you who aren't necessarily first responders, but I think this can apply to everybody. So I got to tell a story to kind of tell you where I'm going with this, but I have a really good friend. His name is Brian Murphy. So Brian Murphy was a lieutenant on a police department in Wisconsin. He went to a call, which was an active shooter at the Sikh temple shooting in Wisconsin. So he arrives at the Sikh temple, and the active shooter had already killed, I think, about 2 or 3 people at this point when he shows up. When he shows up, he stops his police car about 50 yards away from the front door. The guy comes out of the front door and just shoots at 50 yards, which is a really far distance, with a pistol, and hits him immediately. And he kind of falls to the ground, looks up. He's looking around for the guy. The guy had circled around behind him and shot him again. Anyways, long story short, Brian Murphy gets shot 15 times, including the face, the neck, the chest, the back, arms, his hand, legs. He's just basically, the guy stands above him and executes him. But Brian survived. I've known Brian for a couple of years now, and a really good friend of mine, and a very, very powerful man, and a great mentor. And if people want, they can look up Lieutenant Brian Murphy, and you can see he speaks nationwide to groups of people about resilience and all sorts of stuff. But I speak with Brian all the time, and I pick his brain about a lot of stuff. And Brian once told me, so Brian's the kind of guy that, as big as he is and as important as he is, he always finds a moment to pull you aside and just have one-on-one conversations for hours. And so during one of these one-on-one heart-to-hearts I had with Brian, he told me that he's learned to take his trauma and just put a lid on it and carry it around. So while you talk about tattoos and getting them removed, with us in our job and a lot of things we see, I don't really think it's possible to remove these mental tattoos. I don't. And that's for first responders or police or firefighters, military, whatever. They go through a whole lot of trauma, and I don't think it's possible to remove these tattoos. I really don't. But that also correlates to everybody else. Everybody experiences trauma. Everybody experiences failure. Everybody experiences hard times. Everybody has seen things that are not good. They can call it PTSD. You can call it whatever you want. I truly believe, and this is just my personal opinion, that you can't remove those tattoos. You can't. But you can learn to recognize you have those scars and to live with them as a companion. So Brian talks about, he carries a case and he puts a lid on it. So if he had a case in his arms that he would put rocks in every time he had some trauma, that case starts to get heavy. So he's got this case in his hand and the lid's open, and he's putting trauma in this. And in Brian's case, it's pretty big. But he's able to put a lid on it so no more rocks go in that case, and he learns to carry it. He develops muscles to strengthen that arm to carry that case, and he learns to recognize that he has it.